Supervisor Ortiz-Legg do the honors.
Thank you. This is the resolution proclaiming June 2023 as LGBTQ+ Pride Month in the County of San Luis Obispo. And I'd like to ask Lola White-Sanborn and Dusty Collier-Worth to come forth as we read the resolution, please. And then you'll have time to, okay, thank you. Whereas this nation was founded on the principle that every individual has infinite dignity and worth, and the Board of Supervisors calls upon the community members to embrace this principle and work to eliminate prejudice everywhere it exists, and whereas Pride began as a protest against profiling and violence targeting members of the LGBTQ+ community, and whereas lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and otherwise queer people continue to experience these harms even now, and whereas LGBTQ+ people have historically struggled to find others like themselves in media and in public, and Pride serves as a crucial time of visibility and community, whereas recognition from one's government is crucial for feeling safe in one's community, and whereas human beings deserve not merely the tools for survival, but also the opportunity to pursue joy, and whereas celebrating Pride Month is a cornerstone of American culture that allows us to lift up our successes while working toward a better, more inclusive, and equitable future. Now, therefore, be it resolved and ordered that the Board of Supervisors of the County of San Luis Obispo, State of California, hereby proclaims the month of June 2023 as Pride Month in support of the LGBTQ+ community. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Board of Supervisors, for the recognition of June 2023 as Pride Month. As the resolution stated, Pride in itself started as a protest, a demand for visibility and the dignity and humanity of LGBTQ+ people. I know that it can be easy to look at it as identity politics to call out a specific group. But that is also a point of privilege to be able to say that when it is not the experience of LGBTQ+ people to be protected under blanket statements. And it is not taking us back to the 80s in any way when we look at the fact that there is an unprecedented amount of anti-LGBTQ+ legislation nationwide, over 500 pieces of legislation this year alone, to know that Pride and the recognition and uplifting of LGBTQ+ people is needed now more than ever. So we thank you for this recognition in the interests of equity, understanding that as a historically marginalized community, more work needs to be done for us to have that equal outcome.
Thank you so much for having us here and for recognizing this crucial, critical time that we are now seeing finally get some visibility in a way that it is not before. Fostering an inclusive environment requires openly acknowledging what bigotry exists, not pretending everything is fine now. I'm regularly stalked and harassed for being queer. On a number of occasions, as nearby as Santa Rosa Street and Marsh Street right behind us, trucks have attempted to run me over. It is therefore difficult for me to believe that anyone who would seek to oppose such a proclamation has an equal other than exclusion. The reality is that achieving progress in as big and complicated a world as this requires folks to hone in on something that they can do to help, working on a specific achievable cause. No one genuinely believes that we are asking for special treatment when we ask for acknowledgement of our unique struggles, unless they believe those struggles are something that should happen to us. I ask you to consider that there have been more anti-trans laws this year than there have been days in an entire year. More than we've had in history, the history of the US. We're not predators, we're not easy punchlines in your sitcoms, we're human beings, and we will not be terrorized out of our existence. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you both. Is there any other public comment that come forth? Otherwise, we'll bring it back to the board. So, Chair. Okay.
Certainly. Mr. Paulding.
Thank you. And thank you, Dusty and Lola, for being here to accept the proclamation. I think this is an important day in SLO County history. There was only one other time, to my knowledge, that our prior Board of Supervisors recognized the LGBTQ plus community. And that was back in 2011. And it was a 5-0 vote to support the LGBTQ community, and that was supporting National History Month. Because that board at that time, that board, which was comprised of conservatives and liberals and people of all political affiliations, felt that acknowledging the history, the fact that your community has been historically not just underrepresented, but also historically marginalized, that was important to acknowledge. And that you and your fellow members in the community have been under attack. Especially lately, and I'm really proud of our board for taking this step, like that prior board did, to say that we as a county want to be a welcoming place, that we value diversity and inclusion, and that we care about lifting up groups who have been historically marginalized. And I do take great issue with comments made by Supervisor Arnold earlier that this is somehow a divisive thing to do. That she specifically said that every group makes claims, and if we simply honor groups because they make claims, then somehow as a board we are taking action that would distract us from, good governance. The reality is that we have an obligation, and we see you. We see what's going on in our community in terms of the national divide, and what we can do is we can signal to the LGBTQ plus community, especially the children in our community who are facing just many, many challenges. For example, young people in the LGBTQ plus community face higher rates of rejection, violence, suicide, and homelessness when compared to their general population peers. LGBT youth are also overrepresented in the child welfare and juvenile justice systems and more likely to drop out of school than their fellow classmates. We can do something, and we are doing something today in recognizing the LGBTQ plus community, and we value you. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Supervisor Arnold?
Yes, and I want to thank you for being here. And we often have these kinds of discussions where we take different approaches. But so I hope you know, I meant it when I said that we value everybody. And my approach is just different. I think that we need to start being all one big and making sure that everyone is taken care of and receives the services that everybody else at the same level, that what I'm saying, because that's the same. I believe we're striving for the same things with just a little bit of a different approach. So I do appreciate you being here today. I want you to know.
Supervisor Gibson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I embrace this resolution as a fundamental expression of our shared humanity, and I'm proud that this board managed to pass it. I find it ironic that some who would oppose this expression eagerly supported a proclamation at our last meeting celebrating Juneteenth. And there's actually a bit of a connection here that resonates with me. It's not always reported that Juneteenth celebrates the delayed announcement of the Emancipation Proclamation, some 2.5 years after it was actually issued. And to me, that the significance of that day, among many others, is that it is justice delayed is justice denied. And so if we are to live out the creed that we recite in the Pledge of Allegiance that opens every one of our meetings, liberty and justice for all, I think this is very much the least we can do, and I'm pleased to be here with you to celebrate this occasion. Thank you.
Supervisor Arnold?
Quick last comment I wanted to share with you guys. It wasn't just this resolution. For the exact same reasons I voted against the complete resolution 2 weeks ago. I showed you part of it, the parts that I appreciated and wanted to go forward with. But since the rest of it was included, I voted against that one too. So again, my approach is just going to be continuing to work on what I see as the positive and how I think it really is going to do the most good. And that's just that more all-inclusive. We're not separating anybody. We're all-inclusive, and we're all going to work on our rights together for everyone. So thank you. I wanted to share that so you didn't think I was singling you out here today.
Finally, Supervisor Ortiz-Legg.
Thank you. Well, I'm just really pleased that we had the opportunity to have you today as we had the trans event across the street back earlier in the spring. I told you we have a lot of work to do here. And I think it's, very clear that many of us, including myself, don't recognize always the kinds of daily traumas that one can endure, and to be able to look in each other's eyes and to know that we do see you, but we see all that comes before. And I know that we all, overall in this room, really look towards trying to find the common good and the ability to work together and all of that. And I just really know that, again, we have a lot of work to do. And one of the things that strikes me is that one, for you to be here and to present and to take all the attention, that's not always easy, but also that you're out there representing many people in our own workforce here at the county. And many times when I'm at an event, such as I was that day, I had people come up to me and say, I work for the county. I'm really happy that you're here, because I don't always think that you see me. And so I just want to state that we do, and that we just want to bless you and thank you for coming.